let's say you're going to a party, right? Who do you know that's already there? And who do you know that's in there that already knows what you're doing? So let's say I go to my friend's party and my friend knows I do life insurance. Well, did my friend buy life insurance from me? Because that would be the best endorsement. Because if he or she starts introducing you saying, hey, this is my buddy John. He's also my life insurance agent. If you need anything, you didn't have to open your mouth. Now you're getting endorsed by somebody already.
Right.
Welcome, guys, to our agent Q&A. You got your host here, John. We got Joanne. We got Albert. For anyone that's watching live, we are hosting on Thursdays at 11:15 Pacific. But if you can't watch it, you're busy dialing, you're working, it's on YouTube. So follow us at Elite Clips. Please like and subscribe. So we're going to go into the first topic, main question, which is going to be the ongoing topic on approaching warm market. Warm market, outside leads in a sense, right? So we have an agent that asked the question. I'm going to go to a party, friends that I haven't seen in a while. It's, a kid's party, and I'm going to be meeting their friends and their friends' friends. So these are total strangers. You're in a party setting. How would I approach it to where it's not going to be awkward? I'm not going to look like the solicitor, right? It's that awkward face. How would you guys do it?
Good.
Well, for me, I think, I don't know. I think it's really easy to just kind of ask people, in general, when you're introducing yourself, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I think that's like kind of opens up the conversation as to like what they do and what you do and what you can potentially offer them. And maybe just give them over like your digital business card or a business card, like, hey, if it interests you, like, here's my info. And then you can connect with them that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it has to be like something really pushy where you're like, I just think like a natural conversation when people are introducing each other, and then you can kind of vibe off with certain individuals that are giving you more interest or giving you more time to like converse.
Yeah. So I think from your endpoint, you're doing it more in a passive approach, right?
Yeah.
But I think in some agencies and some insurance companies, they don't have leads.
Yeah.
So they have a tactical approach where they're aggressive, they're getting phone numbers. Well, so I guess from the agent standpoint, their question is, how can I do this effectively where I will get sales? So this is like an aggressive approach. Like, I'm doing this. I'm not here to say, hey, by the way, I'm doing life insurance. Yeah. I'm here to say, hey, let me see if I can sell you.
Right.
I think that's a fair approach. I mean, I think the key is to not come off too salesy and turn them off right away. Because if you're just like, hey, I'm Albert, do you have life insurance?
Yeah.
Right. Then they're gonna be like, yeah, I think I gotta go get a drink. My wife is calling me, and then they're gonna start telling everyone around the party, like, hey, that guy's gonna pitch you. Everyone's gonna run from you like the plague. So I think it's important to, number one, be genuine.
Okay.
Ask them questions about themselves. Hey, how you doing? I'm Albert. Nice to meet you. What do you do? How do you know the people that we commonly know? Say, what do you do for work? And blah, blah, blah. Ask some questions, show some interest. And I think it's important, just instead of being like, well, I'm in life insurance. Have you ever thought about what happens to you or your family if you passed away?
At a kid's party.
It's probably, you got to try to find, like, based off of the questions that you ask that person and then what they talk about and what they seem to like enjoy. I mean, pay attention to that kind of stuff, and then try to find a way to talk about, number one, introduce what you do and just kind of talk about the things you enjoy about it.
Yeah.
And why you have a passion for it. And start with that before asking a question, do you want insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, well, I really love what I do because it's protected a lot of families, or, people think it's way more expensive than what it actually is. And, I'm able to help a lot more people because there's no exams required. And we normally get an instant decision for a lot of the policies that we have. A lot of times people, don't think about this kind of stuff, so it's nice to be able to fill that gap.
So you're kind of opening with what you're already doing.
Right.
So it's like a self-marketing in a sense.
Yeah. And don't come off too salesy, but just talk about why you enjoy it or why you think it's valuable. And instead of being like, have you thought about?
Well, so the opposite for me is sometimes if I'm at parties, and sometimes I'm a jerk, I don't want to talk to people. Yeah. So when they ask me, what do you do? I go and tell them flatly, I sell life insurance. And then I want to see if they're going to walk away. Cool.
How often does that happen?
No, sometimes they think like, I would get the response like, oh, okay. But now they feel reserved, like, I hope he doesn't sell me. And the conversation would sometimes end, right?
Right.
So if you ever do not want people to talk to you, just tell them I sell life insurance. So now they think, because I said the word sell, they're part of being pitched, right? But if you want the conversation to prolong, okay, how do you open in a soft manner? Then I would say, I'm an insurance broker, right? I'm in finance.
I'm in financial
families.
Services,
right?
Which I think that's fine to do, and sometimes like I'm deliberately vague, because
it spikes their curiosity to ask you, like,
correct.
What exactly do you do? Or
the conversation keeps going if you open it up that way, right? But if I go flatly say I sell life insurance, conversations
and
right to the point.
Also, like, gauge somebody. Like, if you're saying like financial services, and then they're like inclined or interested, then you know that they've already heard of like different products, or that they're open to hearing more about what you have to offer.
Right, and people want to hear from you if they perceive that you have value. So the thing is, I guess by virtue of me having done this for so long, when I go to parties, like I'll run to people that I know, some people that I haven't met before, and then normally the people that I do know, they'll be around, and those come up like, hey Albert, how's it going? Blah blah blah. They're like, I see you on the internet everywhere. Or I see you on social media everywhere. I've heard you're balling, or whatever perceptions that they got, and then naturally sparks the curiosity for the other person to ask, like, hey, what do you do? So I think starting with social media definitely helps, because having gets the conversation going a little bit,
a social media footprint,
and then you'll have other friends, other people, other associates that will kind of help you promote your business a little bit,
right?
Just by asking those questions,
right?
So I found that, and obviously it wasn't like that when I first started, but just. You keep it long enough, and then you do it for long enough, then eventually it just kind of naturally happens. That's a progression in which.
So you're saying you on a tactical approach, you're not trying to do like a one call close on these individuals. You're cultivating them. You build a relationship first, let them know what you do, and then maybe a feature down the road. They see more of you on social media. Your friends endorse you a little bit more, so that when they have a life insurance question, you're the guy to talk to.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's also different too, because for this question that you received, like if your sole, or not your sole goal, but your main purpose is to go in and just try to introduce your business and try to see if you can make some contacts, you got to be a little bit more intentional. Obviously, like if we're just at a party and like your situation, you're like, I'm in life insurance.
Yeah, I sell life insurance.
Like you're cool with just if they ask you.
Yeah.
So, but if your goal is to try to make some context, and you need to be a little bit more intentional. You got to try to introduce yourself, introduce what you do, why it's important to you, how it can potentially help them without being overly salesy up front. Because for me, I've had people approach me for stuff, which I'm cool with that. Like they gotta shoot their shot. It's just, if I don't know them at all, then they start pitching me, then I'm like, get out of my face.
Yeah. It's off-putting, right?
Yeah.
You're at a party, you're having a drink, having some food. Next thing you know, like, what are you doing, man? You want my bank account?
It feels like way too transactional. Now, if we've been talking for a little bit, I see value in this person because like they're they had some success in whatever industry that they've had, and then they're like, oh, well, we should get together and talk about some business. I'm totally open to that. But if like they're just like, I don't know anything about them, they just try to pitch me, I'm like, this is not the time for it.
Right. So I always make fun of that too. It's like, so Ruth would like talk to her friends, family members about life insurance, and I'd mess around. It's like, hey, they want to ask you a question about this. Now I would just refuse them and say, you got to book an appointment. I'm busy. I'm meeting right now. Make it known. Hey, you're a business, right? You're not in business at that moment. But if they do have a question, then okay, now I know. I kind of filter the clients in a sense, who's really interested versus who wants to set a separate time for it, right? But going back to the endorsements, so let's say you're going to a party, right? Who do you know that's already there, and who do you know that's in there that already knows what you're doing? Okay, so let's say I go to my friend's party and my friend knows I do life insurance. Well, did my friend buy life insurance from me? Because that would be the best endorsement. Because if he or she starts introducing you, saying, "Hey, this is my buddy John. He's also my life insurance agent. If you need anything," you didn't have to open your mouth. Now you're getting endorsed by somebody already. If you guys enjoy, I'm saying it too many times.
Thanks for joining us so far. That's all I remembered.
We can continue to share with other people. We probably need to redo it, right? Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If you guys have found this stuff helpful up to this point, or you guys would like to see some other stuff,
Please like and subscribe and create a comment so we can cover that next topic.
And continue watching the show.
Right, so that's a win-win. And then, hey, by the way, hey, I'm just John. I'm just here for the party. I can be a slow approach to it.
A third party endorsement's always nice. It's always adds a lot more credibility rather than you telling someone how great you are.
Right. Not your self-braggadocious.
I'm not a fan of that approach. But I mean, if someone tells me like how passionate they are about what they do, I mean, I'm always interested to hear.
Yeah.
Like it comes off a certain way. So also, if you're not passionate about it at this point, do the business for a little bit longer and, really like learn about what it can do to the people that you help.
Mm.
If you can understand that and you really I genuinely believe what we provide is a very valuable service. So if you're able to grasp all that, it'll come across.
And then now let's talk into the conversation. So let's say you do have a client in the conversation about insurance. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to separate myself from the MLM. Okay. So I tell them, look, I'm in the insurance industry. I'm a broker. So we have a lot of carriers and we buy leads. And I tell my clients that. So that way it's kind of like subliminal, but I tell them like, look, I'm not here to poach on you. I'm not here to solicit you. We got clientele. We have an advertisement marketing company. They find people looking for life insurance and we call on those people. So it's a full business background. And then I super separate it. There's other insurance companies out there. You might have been approached by one, friends or family members. All they do is they talk to their friends and family members and they try to pitch you insurance. So now they sometimes can tell you what you need versus what you are wanting to know about. So now it kind of lowers their guard, right? Because I'm not here to sell to you. I got my own business. If you need help, I can help you out. That's how I'm coming up.
Yeah, you can't come off desperate. Like that like you're definitely gonna drive people away from that with that type of approach. In addition, I think it's important, if they say like, oh, I have insurance or I looked into it before, and like don't trash other companies and trash other agents because if you're like, they're like, oh yeah, I looked into insurance. I was looking at XYZ company. And then you're like, oh, don't go with them. They're trash. Like I have way better, but then clearly there's an advantage to be gained and had by you.
Yeah.
So they're going to look at you like, you're trying to, it's a transactional thing, but you're like, oh, that's a great company. I mean, yeah, hopefully you get something, just, and then just be like, yeah, if you're ever interested in looking at other options. I mean, I don't want to do it right now because, I want you to enjoy your party, but we can exchange numbers. And if in the future something comes up, give me a call. I'll be happy to see if I can help you. If I can't, I'll just point you in the right direction.
Right. So your approach is, you're stable, you have a foundation. If they need help, you're there to help, but you're not there to take over the whole situation. Right. Yeah. I think that's the best solution for it. Any other suggestions?
No, I think those were good.
Yeah. So ideally, that's what's great about us. And then Albert has a story with other companies without leads, because if you are really good about your business, right, you're learning through a lot of clienteles, you're seeing your mortgage protection, your final expense, you're gaining these experiences, and even better, you're a self-sufficient machine because you have your own lead source that now you could just tell clients like, this is what's happening in the industry. You're a knowledgeable person in the industry. So if something pops up, you can help them out. If not, hey, I still got my leads. I don't need to refer.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We're kind of talking about this earlier. Like, I have a buddy that I've known for a long time. He's had a lot of success in the past. He's done a lot of. He's worked in like wealth management and worked as a chief of staff at some big companies and all this stuff. So, he finally got into insurance. Mm-hmm. Not with us, but he got it. So like he actually, I didn't even know that he was in the market looking for it. So number one, my bad. But he got with this pretty big, well-known, reputable company.
Okay.
So he then he calls me and he's like, hey, it's never occurred to me to actually call you and talk about this because you've been in this for 17 years or whatever it's been. And then he's like, yeah, I'm in insurance now. And I'm like, oh, where are you at? And he told me the company. Big company. I'm like, oh, that's great. How's it going so far? And then, he kind of starts talking about the challenges. And I was like, let me guess. It's tough to find clients. And he's like, yeah, because it's all warm market or natural markets, what they call it.
Natural market.
Okay. Which is people that you know, and your list of friends, family, associates, whatever. Which I mean, it's a fine business model. There's definitely people that within your circle of influence that needs insurance that you could help out. But it also depends, like back to this original question, it's like, how do you approach these people?
Right.
Okay. Now, granted, I'm not an expert in how to approach people in warm market because everywhere we've worked, we've had leads.
Yeah.
Right? We've had leads either given to us or we can purchase leads. Now we purchase leads. I personally prefer that way better than being given leads.
Yeah.
I like the control. Profit's better too.
Yeah.
But as far as like, his challenges, I was like, so how long has it been? So it's been like over a month at this stage. And I'm like, and he's just like, go through a lot of training and they keep telling you how to do it. I'm like, well, either way, if it's a natural market, if it's people so you still should be making sales right now. Because I don't see what the delay is. And then he kind of gets into it and he just tells me like, yeah, like I feel like some people are trying to avoid me now, and people get kind of uncomfortable, or we get into it and then they don't want to make a decision, they don't want to divulge too much information, and I'm like, you got to think about the circle that you're in, because for him, coming from his background, he's had a lot of success, so he's probably got a lot of successful friends, because that's pretty generally the rule in life.
Right.
So the thing is, like, they also don't want to divulge their information because there's ego involved, and there might be personal stuff, or maybe just think he's too green to manage their money or handle their accounts. And
if they're high income earners, they might have a financial advisor.
They probably should. They probably do. Right.
Right. So
I mean, I guess I see the barrier and the challenge of trying to find people in that regard. So I started talking to them about it. I'm like, look, I mean, this is part of the reason why I got into our business, because I love the fact that I don't need to go and chase down my warm market or my natural market, because it's a challenge. Like there's been definitely my friends and family that I've helped because they needed it. Yeah. So most of them have approached me and they say like, hey, are you doing insurance? Like, and then they kind of ask me some general questions, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it works. Blah blah blah. Like, you could actually get this, and and this is also an option. I'm like, but look out for this, and just be educational about it.
Right.
And then eventually they'll be like, oh, so if I go with you, can you help me with some stuff? And yeah, happy to.
Right.
So I just think it's a luxury to be able to have the warm market to be able to pursue, but having leads is definitely like it's key in our business. And
yeah, you don't want that awkwardness, right? Like, what if you're no longer invited to these parties because you're that guy?
But not only that, but like if you're calling leads, these are like people that are interested, that want to hear from you, that want to call from somebody that can help them and get them in a better situation. But if you're trying to always poach your warm market and you've already pitched them, and then you're going to make a decision, and it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like, I find that kind of useless at that point.
Right.
So I don't know. I think like at that point, you can't really replenish your natural leads, right? Like
you can, but not through your warm market. It's through your warm market's warm market.
Yeah, but if you weren't successful with your first warm market,
oh, then you're done.
Yeah, you're done for.
You got to go out mauling.
Yeah,
but because you got to be realistic.
And that wouldn't even be your warm market anymore. That wouldn't be your natural warm market either. That'd be your yeah. So that's that kind of really sucks. And
which that does work. You could prospect and happens go to the mall or wait at the
you can.
Which is, by the way, that's how my mom got life insurance.
What?
This was back when I was a toddler or something.
Yeah.
But she was at a gas station, and then my mom's Chinese American, but so then this other Chinese dude comes up to her and be like, "Hey, are you Chinese?" And then she's like, "Yeah." So where are you originally from? And blah blah blah. And they start talking, and then he pitched insurance, and then she saw the need for it, so she got it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it worked.
I mean that's
like
how...
I've seen people like at grocery stores or like at the mall, like trying to just
places you frequent, people you talk to. Jackie is really good at that. He talks about like his elevator speech, so whoever you can talk to, you can make that happen. So approach wise, if you get into that situation where you are talking about life insurance, what can you do? Can you be passive? Can you be aggressive? Well, first and foremost, be the one to ask for their phone number. Right. So that's the thing you need, so you can have a future conversation. Or nowadays, instead of getting phone number, you ask for Instagram. Right. At least you have a connection. So now you can start talking about it.
Pro tip: if you're trying to prospect somebody, you're trying to pitch them, be like, hey, here's my business card. Call me. 99% of the time, they never will. Like, they're probably just going to lose that card. It's not going to do anything. You do need to be proactive and get their number, get their Instagram, or some way to contact them.
Right. And then second, going back to your social media, like credit score or social media awareness, how much information is out there about you, right? Because now your business card or your business is social media, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your TikTok, right? So if they want to know how deep you are in the game or how much information you're putting out, okay, well, you should start creating some social media information about yourself, about the business, so that when they actually look you up or you share content, now they see your whole profile. Oh, this guy knows his stuff. You will sell yourself through that instead of, whatever you're saying now.
And even if you're not up to the point where you feel like you know enough to start talking about insurance or whatever, start reposting some stuff.
Yep.
At the very least.
Yeah. And then tag people. So it's called insurance dripping. So you want to drip on people that you think want it or know about or want to know more about the life insurance. So you keep on bringing that up, because sometimes people don't want to make that decision on the spot, right? But they're thinking about it. It's like seeing the same advertisement over and over and over again until you finally decide, okay, let me go to McDonald's today. I want that shake. I want the new McRib. Right? So you do want to drip on these people. So maybe the next birthday party or the next shindig that you got going on, holidays, you bring it up again. Hey, whatever happened to your life insurance? Right. What about your mom or your parents? But this is the best thing. If it's a happenstance, you connect. Now that's a new market. So now their friends, their siblings, their parents, you have opportunities in all those places. Sergio, who's really, really good at that. He came from an old company. He's been selling crazy with it. Yeah. Now, is he consistent? Yes, because he's had like 8 to 9 years into the business, and he's getting some like high premium sales from those cases. But understand though, the give and take in that is, okay, if you land a presentation, you have a higher closing ratio, you just don't have a lot of at bats. You're not getting a lot of presentations if you just solely rely on the referrals.
Right. Well, I mean, even with Sergio, as much success as he's had with his referral and warm market, I mean, I'm still going to continue to tell him, like, that's great what you're doing. Why not add in some leads? Like, still keep doing what you're good at, but you need to incorporate some leads. Otherwise, unless you're a super social person that's constantly going out and prospecting, constantly meeting new people, and it's enough to feed your business to grow to the financial level that you want, you got to supplement somehow. Yeah. And, maybe the leads thing, I think for a lot of people, leads is just kind of a foreign concept because, I think most people just think like, what if I buy a bunch of leads and I don't sell anything and I lost my money? Yeah. Right. But it's like, okay, but if you're going to that with that attitude, like, are you trying to learn from this experience, or are you just trying to get an immediate return for doing nothing?
Yeah. Right. You got to understand, when you're buying leads, you're buying opportunities. Right. Okay. If you're not buying leads, you have to create your own opportunities. So how many of these parties do you got to go to, drive to, or have multiple conversations until you finally get a sale? Well, how long is that time frame? Yeah. Maybe you have a potential client that you met at a party, but it could take you maybe 3 weeks. Well, guess what? You're not making anything for 3 weeks. Whereas you could buy the leads and make some sales immediately within a day or two.
Right. And I'm a pretty social person. I feel like I meet a lot of people, but I don't want to have to be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, and then have to like pitch them insurance at some point and know that that's in the back of my head. Like it's really a luxury to be able to purchase leads, to have a consistent flow of people to talk to, that people that are interested, to be able to be like, all right, I can just be friends with these people. I can actually just be present in the moment. Right. I don't have to be thinking about like, when are they going to stop talking so I can pitch them insurance? Obviously, like, I'm always paying attention though. Like, if they bring up like, oh yeah, I was talking about my 401k or something, and then I'll be like, oh hey, have you thought about this? I'm like, yeah, we don't have time to do it right now, but if you're interested, we can just run through a couple options, no pressure, no big deal. If I can help you out, cool. I'll try to do what I can. If I can't, I'll see if I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. I always like starting with your family. Make sure your family knows what you're doing, because that'll be your first market attraction, getting you free leads. right? So if your family knows what they're doing, when they reintroduce, what if you have a friend, family member that was just talking at lunch and they were talking about life insurance or talking about rollovers? Well, who's the first person they can bring up? Oh, hey, John actually does some of these things. Why don't you give him your phone number? And sometimes it'll happen. It'll lead you to a conversation. It'll lead you to an opportunity, or sometimes it'll fizzle out. But at least there are more opportunities for you.
Right. And then also, I mean, I guess one last thing, if you're kind of newer to this whole space of trying to approach a warm market and you're not that seasoned in life insurance yet, there's two approaches. You can do the fake it till you make it and just like show up in a rented like Lamborghini or something and act like you balling and have all this fake cash on you. Or you could face it till you make it, right? Yeah. I prefer the second. So the thing is, like, it's totally okay to not know everything, because the thing is, even as much experience as we have, we don't know everything, and I have no shame in that.
Yeah,
but I know enough. I've the stuff that I do know is because of experience that I've gained in the business, making mistakes, just going out and doing it, just experiencing it. So the thing is, if you're not too sure about certain things, just be like, hey, generally this is how it works, blah blah blah. And if they ask a specific question, just be like, I'm kind of newer in the industry, but I promise you, I will work to make sure I get you the right answers. I have plenty of people around me that can help me with this stuff. So we'll get everything taken care of for you. Let's just set up a time when you're free. Let's go over it.
That's good. Yeah. And then I would say, once you get some of these sales, hey, just think of it as a free sale, right? You didn't pay anything to it. So how do you make more of these? You got to reinvest, buy the leads, or don't just spend that money that landed, on your lap in a sense from these parties. Unless you want to go more parties, spend that money on more parties, bottle service.
or just think about it. If you're able to get one success, just focus on that one in front of you.
Yeah,
get that one referral sale. Just find a way to help them out. Just ask them a lot of questions. If you take the face it till you make it approach, and just be humble and just be like, I just want to make sure I get this right for you. I'm ask them questions, blah blah blah. If you go through the whole process, you end up helping them, and just be like, can I just ask you how I did? Just so I can improve my business, and what you think? Did you think I was able to deliver on the things that I promised you that I'd be able to help you with? They say yes, and like, can you give me some feedback? I'll ask all this other stuff. All right, well, if I did a good job, could you? I still want to continue to learn this business. Could you send me a few more people that I could talk to?
Yeah.
Can I get their number? Could you let them know ahead of time? I'll be reaching out to them, like, tell them no obligation to get anything, but I just want to be able to, practice what I'm doing to try to get better at this so I can help people to the level that I want.
Yeah, that's actually going back one step before that. Before you get that presentation in, that's a good approach to your warm market, saying, hey, I'm new to the industry. Can I practice on you my insurance pitch? So it's going to be, you don't have to buy, but if you like it, take it, but no pressure. And then ask for feedback and ask for referrals. So this gets you revved up. This gets you your presentations in, and then you get to figure out how comfortable you are. So when you do have an eventual, like either a lead or a client that really wants to buy, you're a little bit more, seasoned.
Yeah, we've had a few agents that have done that before, right? Yeah. Where they're like, oh, I was going to just practice on my mom or something, and then she actually wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, if you're showing people insurance and you ask it like a real presentation and you ask all these questions, like, people realize they don't have that taken care of. And if you're halfway competent and you're able to like deliver that message and be like, here's how this works, here's here's your problem, here's the solution, it'll sell itself if that person has a genuine need.
Yeah. So start with that. Your mom, your uncles, aunts, close friends.
Practice.
I just want to practice.
Practice? We talk about practice.
Just practice. And like, I think practicing now is a lot easier for the agents than it was like a year ago when they weren't really, everything was online. You know what I mean? I feel like the application process has gotten a lot easier. Like the underwriting for the carriers has gotten a lot easier as well. So yeah, I think like that is a plus when people can see that life insurance isn't that complicated to get anymore. You can even approach before, and not just that, but you can even approach your friends that probably won't buy. Yeah. But to get the practice in, you say, I thought of you as the worst client to have, so I want to practice on you. Can you come up with the worst objections possible so I can be prepared for real clients?
And it'll be fun now, right? They'll be like, well, yeah, I'm interested in being that guy for you. So I want the challenge.
Which, I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know if this whole approach is like palatable for a lot of people. Like for me, I think it's super easy to do it, but also because I think I have a sense of humor. We have,
right.
So like, if people ask me something, I'm like, I don't know, man. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. But let me ask somebody, right? And then, like, the breaks the ice. The person laughs, and the person's just like, okay, cool, ask your questions, and then I'll be like, all right, here's what it is. I mean, I was just helping an agent that's going to come on our Elite Sales podcast. He's going to talk about his first annuity sale.
Nice.
So it was in Spanish. The client spoke Spanish, and then like my Spanish is rusty. So
yeah.
So I was like, I was just basically presenting. He would translate. She'd ask some questions. I'd answer. He'd translate all this other stuff. So then we kept going back and forth. And eventually, we got the deal done. He starts doing the application. Along the entire way, just text me like, what should I put here? What should I fill out here? Then he would call me like, hey, I'm stuck in this part. And so like, even though I wasn't like physically there doing the application with him, because this was in Northern California.
Nice.
The thing was like, I was still there for the whole application process. So like, even though it's not like the most fun, but also like, I also look at that approach. Like, all right, if I don't teach him, number one, he won't get it done. And if I teach him right, then the next time he gets another opportunity, he'll better be prepared. He'll be better prepared on how to do it. He still may have questions, which is fine.
Yeah.
But if we don't do these steps in the first place, if we don't methodically do it, he's never going to be able to sell that type of transaction, and then hurts everyone's business.
Lost opportunities.
It's all work you got to put in. They're all steps to it.
Yeah. So that's a good. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Get you a referral sale. Get you a warm market sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At very least, get you some practice.
Yeah. Practice. So that's all we got for you guys. Anybody, just like right before you finish, anybody have any specific questions, concerns, feedbacks? You guys are muted. All right, we're gonna end it. So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Please like and subscribe. It's gonna be on Elite Clips on YouTube. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Like and subscribe. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you guys want to subscribe, click here. If you want to watch the next video, click here.